So, you're stuck in gold, maybe platinum. Well, you've come to the right place. I have 5 crucial tips to help you improve your gameplay. They don't require hundreds of hours in free play or training packs. All they require you to do is shift your mentality. I'm going to be covering some things that you may have heard before, but I'll be expanding on them to give you a different perspective. Hopefully I'll cover some ideas you haven't heard before. And let's face it, based on what I see from the majority of my solo queues, there's a lot of players out there that haven't heard any of these tips. So let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, today I've got 5 tips for you to improve your gameplay, and with practice actively applying these tips to your gameplay, you should be able to get out of gold and maybe even platinum. I mostly main 2s where these concepts are crucial, but they're equally important in 3s, and you can still apply some of the fundamentals into your 1s matches. After I give you my tips for improving your game sense to get out of gold or platinum, I'll show you a few matches and talk through them. So if you stick around to the end, I'll show you a game with a teammate that you don't want to be like in another game to show you what it looks like when both players are using this logic. Tip number 1, stop committing as last man. This is probably the most common error I see when I'm solo queuing. And let's face it, I'm guilty of it myself from time to time. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to continue to improve your gameplay. You need to be able to identify your own mistakes, learn from them, and grow as a player. What do I mean by not committing? I'm talking about when you see your teammate or teammates in front of you. You know you're the only thing between the opponents and your net. Your teammate and an opponent have a 50. The ball squirts up, centers in the air, and you have this juicy looking shot attempt. This happens so often in matches, but you need to take an opportunity to think about your actions before you act. Where's your teammate at? Where are the opponents at? What are the consequences of your actions if you try to go up for it, especially if you go up for it and miss? Not to mention, you're in gold. Hell, even in plat, your aerial abilities are limited. Is this a smart play? The answer 99.9% of the time is going to be no. You risk going up for it and whiffing or hitting the ball back to your opponents who have the opportunity to shoot or control it before you even get your teammate an opportunity to get back in time to defend. You'll probably still be airborne and recovering. Everything is about risk versus reward. More often than not, the right decision is to turn back, be prepared to shadow your opponents, or get to a position to defend the net until you see your teammate rotating behind you so you can make a play on the ball. If you start implementing this thought process, surveying the field, identifying the risk versus reward, you'll see noticeable decision-making improvements. Tip number 2, be patient. The second most common thing I see in these ranks is a lack of patience. Playing faster does not mean driving as fast as you can, hitting the ball just to hit the ball, wasting all your boost, and cutting off your teammate's play. Being patient has 3 parts to it. 1. Watch your teammate and give them space. I can't even tell you how many times I've been trying to make a ground play. I have control of the ball, I'm getting ready to start making forward progress, and my teammate, who should probably still be in net at this point, is just coming across the field, screaming upfield, smashing into the ball and smashing into the wall, blasting it away and giving up possession. Our play is over and we're back on defense, or I just started to dribble, the ball's on top of the car, I'm prepping for a flick, and it gets smashed from behind off me. Your teammate is not a golf tee. Stop treating them like one. If you're seeing your teammate dribble, he probably has better ball control than you, and might surprise you with a sweet play. Lastly, if you're last man, the ball is in the air coming down, your teammate is in front of you and isn't going up for it, be patient. Let them have their attempt. Worst case, it doesn't work out and you're in a position to regain control or defend. They might be seeing something you're not. Maybe the opponents are giving enough space where they know they have time for the ball to come down and control it on the ground. This is Rocket League, not ping pong. Hitting the ball just to hit the ball does nothing for you 9 times out of 10. 2. When you have control of the ball or are in a position to take control of it, be patient. You don't need to always hit the ball or run with it. You'd be surprised at what you can do when you slow down your pace of play. Everyone is trying to drive as fast as they can at the ball with no thought into why or what their opponent can do before they get there. This gives you an opportunity to let them try and take it from them, and cut it in the opposite direction and get it around them, sometimes leaving nothing but an open net behind them. Finally, on defense, more often than not, you don't need to leave net to try to meet the ball halfway, potentially missing. Once again, last man commits. If you see your teammate is trying to rotate back, give them a chance to get there and save the ball closer to the goal line, hitting it from the opposite side of the play away and into your corner. Big picture, you don't want to be the guy that wants to score all the time. And if you are going to continue to be this guy, do it in casual. The purpose of competitive playlists is to try to win. When you're playing too fast and whiffing, putting yourself out of position with low boost, hitting the ball away from your teammate that has control, and giving the ball away back to your opponents, all you're doing is lowering your chance of winning significantly. When you lose, you go down in rank. When you go down in rank, you're not getting out of gold. Stop losing. Start thinking competitively. It's not always flashy. You're not always going to be the one making all the goals, but it's the smart plays that win games. Tip number 3, stop giving away possession. Once again, this is not ping pong. Patience is the key to keeping possession. Instead of always trying to go for a booming shot in the direction of the goal, take your time. Try to control the ball by getting a soft first touch, keeping the ball near you, and outplaying your opponents on the ground if you can. Worst case, you progress the play, mess up your cuts, and try to take a low 50 and force the opponents to give possession right back. Yes, this does take practice. Take some time in free play driving the ball around the field. I can provide guides on this in the future, but we're not focusing on mechanics of it. We're talking about the mentality behind it. Once you start recognizing hitting the ball away is bad, and hitting the ball just hit the ball is bad, it becomes so tilting when you're watching your teammates do it over and over and over again. The most important thing is to recognize this is happening, or recognize when you're doing it and learn from it. I strongly feel that the reason more players don't do any of these things I've already talked about naturally is because they make goals. When bad habits are reinforced by good outcomes, even when they're just lucky RNG ones, it's hard for you to recognize you're doing anything wrong. It's almost more tilting when my teammates score off of a bad decision because I know it's just going to reinforce their bad habits. Tip number 4, play to your abilities. Like I stated about going up for risky aerials, you're gold, or even platinum. If you're watching this, you probably don't have the skills of a pro RLCS player, and if you do, stop smurfing. The point of this tip is for you to really take a hard look at your gameplay and think before you do things. How confident are you on the walls? How accurate are your aerials? Can you dribble, or are you using competitive to try to practice dribbles and flicks? How's your aerial car control? Can you pull off wall to air or ground to air dribbles 9 out of 10 times? If the answer to any of this is not very, don't do it in competitive. You will reach a point through practice where you will be confident enough to do these things. I'm constantly practicing mechanics. My favorite part of this game, and what got me so hooked to Rocket League in the first place, is realizing the high skill ceiling and all the cool things you can do. But I gave myself a rule. When I'm playing in competitive, I don't try to pull out any mechanics. I've been practicing unless I can do them consistently. Right now, that's not a lot. So I put a lot of focus into my fundamentals, making smart decisions, and trying to use safe ground control or aerials I know I can make an attempt on when I'm not the last man. Don't try to be the player that reaches for skills they don't have down yet and potentially puts their team in a bad spot when it goes poorly. Once again, stick to the fundamentals. Practice what you want to learn on the side and implement it when you have the confidence and the right opportunities. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that mechanics don't have a place. You see when you play against higher diamonds how useful mechanics can be, but the most important thing to realize about them is there is a time and place. You still need to make sure you're not overcommitting as last man, and you need to have patience, and you need to make sure that you're not giving away possession if you can help it. Finally, tip 5, rotate. For the love of all things Rocket League, learn how to rotate. In full transparency, I am a Plat 3. I am not claiming to be perfect. I am nowhere near the skill level of a pro. I've really only started getting into Rocket League in the last year, and I've been hooked. Why then am I making a YouTube tutorial on Rocket League and think that I'm qualified to teach any of you anything? I do because in just the past 6 months, I've learned so much about the mistakes that I was making. I was stuck in gold for some time. I was hitting the ball just to hit the ball. I was going up for every shot that I thought I had the opportunity for. I was hitting the ball off the top of my teammates' car because I thought they were messing up or taking too long or going to give the opponents an opportunity to hit the ball, and I didn't know or understand the importance of good rotations. I'm taking a different approach with my channel. There are a lot of amazing Rocket League players on YouTube that are coaches and high-level players with great tutorials. But here's the thing I've been learning while watching them, because I watch a lot of videos, but I feel like they're a bit removed from what it's like to actually be a gold or platinum player. A lot of their videos are mechanics you need to know for every rank, or how to get out of X rank, and it's all mechanic based. And when the mechanics are taught, they're oftentimes taught to a level of assuming you have a certain car, air, or ball control. I've been learning a lot from practicing mechanics and game sense, and even with the help of videos, learning the things that aren't explained very well, and I'm progressing. So listen to me when I tell you, rotations are key. This might be the most important tip, because if you are rotating, your game sense is at a much higher level than players that just don't recognize when their play is over and keep turning in to make another play on the ball, cutting off their teammates, or not going back post on defense. If you don't know what any of this means, look up rotations on YouTube. There are a ton of great videos, but the basics are, on defense, rotate to the opposite side of the ball on the far post of the net, so you're ready to defend into the ball before it even gets a chance to be in the front of your net. Instead of clearing the ball over the net and possibly giving your opponents another scoring opportunity. On offense, once you lose possession, the majority of the time, the right thing to do is to rotate away from the play back behind your teammate who is probably in a better position. This allows you to give them an opportunity to make a play, and putting yourself in a position to hurry back and defend, shadow defend, or rotate back into the play and make another attempt, or at least keep offensive pressure. So there you have it. These are my 5 tips to help you get out of gold or platinum. As a bonus tip, stop solo queuing if you can help it. I hate saying this one, because with strong fundamentals you can still overcome a weak teammate, and I know not everyone has someone that they can play with consistently or is on when they're itching to play, but when it's a roll of the dice on what type of teammate you will get, there's no denying you'll be able to win more matches with someone applying these fundamentals with you, especially if you're on comms. Try to be patient, play casual if you want to play while they're not on, but if you do decide to solo queue, just try your best not to tilt, force plays, or flame your teammates. It doesn't help anything, you just need to try to make up for their lack of fundamentals by applying extra patience. I hope this helps. Truly, I hope all my future solo queue teammates watch this so my blood pressure goes down a bit when I decide to solo queue. If you like this content, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always unsubscribe. If you want to see more or have different video ideas, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll be trying to post weekly and really turning this into a Rocket League channel, with an emphasis on helping players get out of the lower ranks by using what I learned as I progress to articulate in ways that some of the higher level players just can't, because they're too far removed from having the lack of car, ball, and aerial control to mention, not to mention the game sense. Hope you all like the tips, and stick around for the rest for some replay analysis. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time.